Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Strategic Mind, the Pacific. Playing the Japanese campaign. We're currently doing pretty well. Conquered the Philippines in the previous mission, and we're going after the Dutch East Indies and New Guinea next. But before we do that, we're gonna have to manage our forces for quite a bit. Now, I did ask myself, like, why do I only have 3,000 prestige? But that's, of course, not only do I have to pay for repairs, but I also did quite a bit of upgrading during the mission itself. Gave a lot of equipment to my units, and I kind of need to compensate for that. That means that this is going to be lower as well, because I did buy a lot of stuff. But I'm going to unequip many of those things again, which means that I'll get that prestige back. But before we do anything, let's spend the victory points. First of all, definitely going for a training program level 2, yes. And now that that's done, I do have these 100 points to spend, and I do want to spend them already. There are a few things that I could choose here. Let's see, because... that's unfortunate. That's 150, because I would rather have the Navy get another equipment slot than the aircraft. I have 3 choices. I can make air reconnaissance cheaper, which is not useful, and all self-propelled ground units getting an additional equipment slot. That's only 50, and this is 100. I guess I'm gonna go for the air units then, and no, I'm gonna save the points. I don't think this is necessary. Alright, let's save those 100 and just keep it at level 2. Let's go to the units and level those up. First of all, let's take a look at this here bomber. We already did get all weather, and the next one that I want to do is altitude. And I'm gonna do that for pretty much all the bombers, because I think that's just the best do here. At least for the bombers. For the fighters, Boom and Zoom is nice, and I'm gonna work on all weather after that, because that also often helps quite a bit. If I get to attack the enemy fighters in good weather, in rain, whereas they can fight back, that gives me a definite edge. I do want to give all my air units the radar from now on. Why do I want to do that? It's because that removes the half of the nighttime penalty for attack, so my units are going to deal more damage even through the night. And meanwhile, this costs only 20, so I do think it's pretty decent to also invest in this here. There we go. Why do you not have a radar? There we are, and I could go for incendiary bombs level 4. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I took care of my air forces. They are fully equipped right now. The Riku Sentai can be upgraded to the 42 one. Let's do that. That gives them 2 more soft attack, 1 more hard attack, and some better defenses. And there we are. Then I also need to level them up. They already all have forced march. I do like terrain expert, to be honest. I think ground taker, I could go for a night hunter as well. It's either between Night Hunter, Veteran of the Trenches, and Terrain Expert. And I think they all have something coming for them. Let's just go for Veteran of the Trenches for now. There we are. As for equipment, I will have to remove the heavy equipment. Okay, this indeed does cost 80. Yeah, I'm gonna discard all of the heavy mortars. And the reason for that is I cannot have my units equipped with mortars and use the ability to land on the beaches at the same time. So, because you can see that here, this is heavy equipment. If the unit does not have ground transport, it loses the ability to move, but it also disables the skills Paratroopers, Air Mobile, and Coastal Landing. And the Coastal Landing ability is the ability that we need to disembark and clear our shallows terrain. So, for example, I could give them the 80 millimeters, but this is already too heavy. So, I'm gonna have to, let's see. I don't think dispatching mines is going to be all that necessary yet. I think flamethrower though is really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these guys both the weaker mortars. Yeah, because I'll be seeing infantry mostly anyway. And then also providing them with flamethrowers. So that's a bit cheaper. And they all do have the good trucks. So that's the infantry. Now, next up, I'm gonna need to probably upgrade these guys, but this is an out of tree upgrade. So it's unfortunately that costs more, but I do think that the 150mm is just that much better. You have additional ammunition, which is probably what you want to do, indeed. Because these guys only have 3 ammunition, and having 5 then is really good. They are mobile. I think Defender will help out pretty well, besides that. Deadly is also not bad. But, yeah, definitely Defender. So both of their equipment is also dealt with. That's good. Let's level up the Kurogane Recon. It already has Terrain Expert. And I'm gonna go for Observant here first. As for equipment, how much ammunition do you have already? 5. So that's not really useful. Getting additional fuel. You have 30 right now. I guess that could be useful. And then I'd rather... I think I'd rather give them the anti-tank mine then. Or... now the... I'll probably be fighting again mostly soft targets. So let's go for the Type 1 heavy machine gun. Next up, my tanks. And let's take a look at the Chiha first. We already got Street Fighter. Tank line, probably not too good because I don't have too many tanks. So I'd rather go for aggressive maneuver then. Night Hunter's also not bad. I'd go for that for a third one. Let's take a look at the equipment. They have the flamethrower guys and 4 ammunition, 25 fuel. I'd rather get an external fuel tank extra. Then for these, the same kind of applies, and I also want to get these vehicles, which is pretty expensive, but I think that's really good. Okay, so you guys have the torpedo, and I guess I do want extra fuel, because these guys get destroyed if they are out of fuel. And that's something that you have to worry about all the time. So this is probably a good idea. Let's level them up. I got Torpedo Expert, so... You actually damage the engine. So then the enemy can no longer move their unit. That is, I guess, relatively okay. Yeah. What if I buy a second one of these? That's 680. That's pretty expensive. I will have to think about it. Let's just go for the Kagero class first and upgrade them to Yugumo class ships. And level them up. So I have scouting now. Provide fire support. What kind of fire support? Against submarine attacks. And okay. I think Overwatch planes, though, is probably the best way to go here. Despite those other ones also being pretty useful, I think this is pretty good. You have rapid deployment, and I also want to have Overwatch planes for you guys. And the Yamato class currently has task force. I think Overpower is probably gonna be good after that. Alright. As for equipment, don't really need to do anything here, but if I want to increase the amount of airplanes that I'm gonna use, I can... The cheapest way to do that is to increase carrier capacity in this fashion, but I think with the amount of prestige that I have, it's gonna be tough doing that on 2 units. Because buying a plane is gonna cost me quite a lot. I took care of all the other forces pretty well. Maybe too well. Right, let's just use the one enlarged hangar on the Shokaku class. So that will give me one more plane. And let's also do that for these guys. I think what I could do technically is get some prestige during the mission itself, and then once I've done that, I should be able to buy an extra unit in the middle of the mission. So I think getting that extra enlarged hangar might actually be useful. But I'll only acquire one more air unit on this mission. And I think that's going to be a torpedo bomber. So let's level them up. All weather and altitude. Let's give them equipment, the aircraft radar at least. So I'm not going to buy a second submarine. So I guess unseen front then is not too useful. I think going for wreck havoc might be good, because then they can destroy the engine, get out, and the enemy can't chase them. I think that should be pretty decent, probably. One thing I shouldn't forget either is that, can't I overstrike my units? Cannot change naval units HP. Okay, so only of the infantry can I increase this. That's something that I should not forget. I can also do that for airplanes. So that is something very interesting. Funny thing is that all of this is here though. Wonder why. How is this my headquarters? I thought the Yamato class was. Oh well. Either way, I can do a few more upgrades. Not that I want the dazzle camouflage, I don't particularly care for that. But I do care about these guys getting +4 naval attack for their torpedoes. Because I think that will work quite nicely at least. I have 200 left. Yeah, maybe then I should be upgrading these guys. And I'll go for the zeros first. There we go. Yeah, I should start doing that too, but upgrading my naval units is usually a pretty mean business. Alright, though, I'm done here. I did take care of everything for the next mission. Oh yeah, I do need to get rid of these trucks though. Because having these trucks also means that they can't land on the beaches. Even though it does not say that. I think it does work like that. Because coastal landing. Yeah, if you have ground transport, which is not amphibious, or heavy equipment, the ability is lost. And the Suki is... Oh, it is amphibious. Oh, wow. Okay. Never mind. Here we go. Yeah, I'm keeping that. Okay, 12 prestige left, so not gonna do anything with that. Upgraded my forces nicely. Let's take a look at what Ugaki has to say.
The operation in the Philippines has demonstrated the fact that the Army is not inclined to cooperate with the Navy. Furthermore, its treatment of prisoners of war and civilians alike indicates a complete disregard for the universally accepted laws of war. Ambitions of the Army High Command clearly outweigh their military competence, and it may have dire consequences. If the Army cannot cope with its tasks, the Rikusentai units must be ready to intervene. The ability of rapid troop redeployment with hydroplanes will be invaluable at times.
Yeah, I agree. Alright, I'm gonna do one thing, because I think that what I could do, technically, is in the settings of the sound. At the beginning of each mission, there will be a lot of speech, so I can actually increase the speech volume by a bit. And then turn that back down once the actual mission starts, after the initial briefing. Either way, let's get started here on the New Guinea campaign.
The oil crisis threatens the security of our empire. We had to cut down the activity of our cargo fleet in order to save enough fuel for the Navy to conduct the next operation. Because of this, we are now low on food supplies, and all citizens were assigned limited rations.
Just as I expected.
Expected or not, we have to solve this problem immediately. You have Indonesian oil right under your nose. It would have been criminal negligence not to put it to work in the name of our empire. The Emperor has blessed our Navy for this act of glory aimed at saving the people of Japan.
Had the Emperor been informed before that such an operation would involve waging naval battle against 4 maritime countries at once?
Why should we bother His Majesty without good reason? I am sure that our samurai spirit will allow us to stand against any foe, no matter how numerous.
Sure. Sure.
I would not recommend you keep covering up irresponsibility with fancy words. Admiral Ugaki, do we have enough fuel for this operation?
We are rather low on it, Admiral. We have enough for the initial phase of the operation. But if it lasts longer than expected, we will run out of fuel. Everything will depend on the new shipments from the areas we invade.
Enough or not enough, we do not have another choice. Go and take the oil from our enemies. The Navy should be interested in it the most, and the Army will provide you with full support. From Prime Minister Tojo to Admiral Yamamoto. The direction of our new strike is guided by destiny itself, compelling us to put the resources of all Asia into service for the sake of Japan. Our valiant samurai must raise the sacred flag of the Empire on the islands of the South Seas known as the Dutch East Indies. After taking over these islands, which are rich in oil, Japan will be independent of any needs for external fuel supplies. Thus, we will reach one of the most important strategic objectives of the war. However, we must take immediate action. We have run out of fuel stores. We must provide for the production and transportation of oil to Japan as soon as the oil fields are taken over. General Sugiyama will help you in this operation. I'm sure that fighting shoulder to shoulder, both the Army and the Navy will provide the Empire with these desperately needed resources.
Good. Let's start planning. As far as I know, the main oil reserves there are concentrated on the islands of Borneo and Celebes.
That's right. There are 5 main areas of oil production. On Borneo, Seria, Nuri, and Fairley. On Celebes, Arun, and Wotai. Although I am sure that the Dutch and the British will try to destroy the oil derricks located on them to create a multitude of problems for us.
The most important thing is to take over the oil fields. The derricks can be rebuilt later.
The Empire needs oil right now, and we might not have the time to renew production. In order to provide for the minimum shipments required for Japan, at least 3 locations have to retain their equipment intact.
Then we must hurry. However, it is not enough just to produce oil. In order for safe transportation to occur, we must have control over the entire East Indies region.
Yes, and it is a vast area. In order to seize it, we must take over the several key points on the islands. On Borneo, Jesselton, Kuching, Banjarmasin. On Celebes, Manado, Tomini, Makassar, Kandori. In New Guinea, Sorong, Babo, Mutin, Wiribiana, Holland, and Sarmi. And finally, Rabaul on the island of New Britain. I assume that control over this perimeter will allow us to provide for a safe resource flow from the islands.
Okay, let's split the area of responsibility. As the Navy is the main consumer of oil in the Empire, let it handle the seizure of the oil fields. Yamamoto, I give you the honor of taking over Borneo, Celebes, and New Britain. The ground forces will be in charge of seizing the largest island, New Guinea. This will be done by the 18th Army Group.
Good. So be it.
The most important thing is to escort the Army's units to the landing zone. After this, nothing can stop us.
Everything depends on whether we can neutralize the enemy's fleet and aviation.
As far as I know, the entire region is protected by the combined fleet of the US and their allies. However, it is small and does not have any carriers. The enemy ground-based aviation poses a much greater threat.
Then we must pay special attention to the air cover for our landing ships. Well, gentlemen, I suppose the main points of the operation have been agreed on. It's time to start.
That it is. So let's first set the speech volume back here again. And start going over the strategy for this mission after we have leveled up the remaining, or the secondary forces that we have, the auxiliaries. First of all, I'll be giving scouting and overwatch to all of the destroyers here. Overwatch and scouting, and for these guys as well. Overwatch and scouting, here we go. As for the heroes, let's just see how far we are potentially. Can we already assign one to my reserve units?
We serve faithfully.
Oh wow, I can. This can only serve in an escort ship. So... Wow. Okay, let's assign him. And once again, that means that we can re-level him up, so to say. And those are some quite good ones. The enemy attack deals 1 less damage to the hull. That's really good, I think. The thing is that I'd rather have both scouting and first strike. And then this guy does not do Overwatch, but I think just doing that is so powerful that it's probably a good idea. Let's see if we can assign any other ones. This is for carrier. Yes, I can already. That's excellent. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, let's assign him. Yes. And level this guy up. Another 2 levels. Well, I will... The thing is that inspiring leader, as it is okay, but I guess with the way... How many do I get currently? I can't see. I'm gonna level him up in a little bit because I want to see whether it's the maximum command points or command points income that gets increased. I'm quite curious. Let's see if I can get another hero to be deployed. No, he can't be placed yet. I should have checked this maybe earlier already, but at least I'm doing it now. Ah, come on. One more attack, huh? Okay. Fair enough. Wow, that deep dive's really good. Yeah, so I probably won't be able to get a hero here. Because these are all... There's 1 fighter and 1 infantry. I have none for the tanks, I think. No. There's 1 for tactical bomber. Let's see if I meet the criteria. No, I need to deal 30 damage to naval unit's hull with tactical bomber.
What should be destroyed next?
And I do... Oh, it applies like that for every single unit, so it might be that one of these would apply for it. I get it now. Okay.
Be careful with the bombs. What should be destroyed next?
So I have to check each individual unit.
Our guns are always ready.
Yeah, so
All hail the Emperor!
this guy, for example, I did get this one. And there's 1 for the fighters, so let's take a look.
No one can escape our fire.
No, deal 30 damage to aircraft 1.
Who do you want me to kill?
And for you, that's 3, so that's definitely not gonna work. Then we also have 1 infantry.
Japanese warriors are the most
And
skilled and deadly of all.
This is 313.
The
118.
samurai are always ready to do battle.
Okay, so I can't assign any other heroes. That took long enough, but just getting any heroes is good. Yeah, so let's continue with leveling up these. And let's give you Forced March, and let's also... Let's go for Night Hunter on the auxiliaries. There they are. So, my strategy for this mission. We have pretty much 2 deployment points, which is around this area and this area. I would like to keep my fleet as much together as possible so that I can protect the 18th Army units, which is what I pretty much need to do. Now, these hexes are closest to the the 18th Army unit, so I definitely want to deploy these units closest. You, and then the carriers as well in the back. So my entire navy is going to be deployed there. And these units are also going to move towards this place. I want my ground units to be one striking force, so I can deal maximum damage against the enemy. Because if I spread out my naval units too much, they will take much more damage from enemy units. Like one-on-one, my damage or my unit ratio is going to be a lot worse than when I have 3 destroyers against 1 enemy destroyer. So I want to keep those as close as possible.
Who do you want me to kill?
Yeah, and then of course I will have my naval or my air units here. 2. And then there's the ground unit. So there are some ground units that I want to deploy on New Guinea, because I will be trying to take as many flags as possible, naturally. Even though the army is also there, I kind of want to take over these flags if I can. Now, the problem with this mission is that these we cannot recover any fuel. Even if my units are in supply, unless I capture at least 3 of these oil fields. So that's going to be my primary concern, and then after that it's going to be to take over all the other objectives. But really, taking over these flags or these airfields is going to be critical in my strategy here. So yeah. Alright, so oil fields first. After that, I'm gonna go for the secondary objectives, and then the last priority is seizing all the victory axes, of course. It also means that I want to have my landing forces, my ground landing forces, to, well, be pretty much knit together as well. The thing is that I need to land up in the north, pretty much on all 3 islands, in order to make my ground forces useful. So once the navy has protected these units, they will shift over to the west and not only try to capture these oil fields, but also provide landing parties so they can land over on these islands and start doing ground activity. So in order to do that, I want to keep some of these units on islands like here, like this infantry and this artillery. But because I also want to land some forces on New Guinea, let's see, because this is a infantry, right. So I want to not get my tanks in here. That seems to be fairly useless with this poor terrain. I will keep here the artillery and 2 infantry, which are gonna land on New Guinea.
I hope we run out of ammo soon.
You know, let's actually indeed deploy the steward there and my other tank over here as well. I actually do want to get it in here, because if enemy ships come, we're gonna be in trouble. Okay, so now I can see here that I have maximum command points 33 and command points income 13. Let's level up the Shock class and let's go for Inspiring Leader first, and let's see what that does. Okay, so it's both maximum command points and command points income that does get increased. Okay, so that makes it an extremely useful ability to have. Besides that, I will not go for task force because my destroyer already has that, but scouting is not so useful on a carrier as rapid deployment. So that's those 2. Alright. That's the end of the deployment screen. Oh, right, I have to deploy it there. Okay. Oh, that also... No. Okay, I'm back here, and yeah, I got a little bit of a crash, so I had to, you know, redo the setup, but I think most of it still stands. I do think that I deployed everything like this, but I'm not 100% sure. So the one thing that might be different is that this Yugumo class, no, it's the other one, this guy, I leveled it up differently. I didn't give it, yeah, I gave it wreck ships this time, so +6 naval and torpedo attack, and scouting. I think I did something else before, but I'm not 100%. Yeah, I think I gave it for strike, which probably I'm gonna do once I level it up. Either way, I have everything set up here. Yeah, so let's end the deployment screen. And here we go. This guy still has the inspiring leader as well. Okay, either way, because we do need to protect these guys, they're gonna land near New Guinea. I need to scout out that particular area with the rest of my units. So I guess that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Let's get this here seaplane out as well, because the seaplane will allow me to also find out about any enemy ships. Nothing so far.
Good day, Commander.
But yeah, it does mean that I'll try to get as close as possible to this region.
Approaching.
Do you require assistance? Searching for the enemy. I'm in position. Entering the designated area. Observing the horizon.
We carry the deadly arrows of the Emperor.
Our strength is in numbers of dead enemies. We will inform you if the enemy is ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, that is certainly interesting. Let's use
Ooh, which weapon to use? Guess this one.
these first.
Our power. Target acquired. That was
Wow,
a perfect
that was
shot.
really nice. Okay. Let's try to back
Checking
away
that sector.
to this region. I don't know how much that
Do you
matters.
require assistance?
Either way.
Entering the designated area. For Japan and for the Emperor. We found their weak spot.
Let's do that 2 times.
Greetings from the Imperial Navy. Devastating
And
empire.
destroy the second submarine. So I already did the sonar there. Let's try to get as
Searching for
much
the enemy.
over to this side and then use another sonar. Okay, so there's nothing in that particular area.
We will not let the Emperor down. Behind us is the rising sun. Ahead is eternal glory. Are there new orders from our godly Emperor?
Pretty much the only thing that I'm going to send out is my fighters to protect the ships.
The enemy won't see us coming.
Because
A fighter.
I'm too afraid that anything else will
Ahead of the wind.
potentially get shot down. Especially during a first turn.
I'm in position. Entering the designated area.
Okay.
There is no honor in hiding
As for
inside an
these
iron
ground
box.
forces, it's dubious
The
to
Imperial fleet knows no defeat.
All crew is reporting.
say the least. What do I need again? 30 damage. Okay, yeah, never mind.
No enemy can exceed the range of our guns.
So I'm getting 18 per turn.
If you insist.
So I might just as well let them disembark already.
Big guns are nothing without a fighting spirit. Ask the dead guy Jins.
I obey your order.
I think, yeah,
These
they can
vessels will enable us to know our glory.
go in one go.
I obey your orders. Eternal glory awaits us. These
And
vessels will enable us to know our glory.
the thing is, I don't actually want to already move these guys out because they're going to have to land over here, and unless I have fire support, that's not really gonna help. Unless I'm gonna let these guys land over here already, quickly take over those places and move down.
My life for the Emperor.
That might be better, but then
These vessels will enable us to know our glory.
I can't allow them to be spotted. And I don't have backup here, so I can only go in there with the infantry specifically. I would have to take this over, and then the heavy forces can land, but that'll take some time either way. I don't think I can take that on turn 2, but I'll already move them out to sea because it saves some movement points. And those are the only ones. These guys have to wait anyway.
Flows in our veins.
What should be destroyed next? Those bombs are heavy. We bring death on our wings.
We are nobody, unseen.
Alright, let's end the first turn then. Okay. That ain't looking too good. Okay. So I definitely will lose this destroyer. Okay. And a submarine. That finishes it off. This submarine gets to attack twice, which is interesting. Then the British. It's the first plane coming. And that's it for them, though. Okay. That's very interesting indeed. And not too great for my points, because that costs a fair amount of prestige. But if I'm gonna get these guys to land, I kinda need that.
We have more guns than the entire enemy fleet, if you include aircraft.
Yeah. Well,
Do you require assistance?
I guess
Protectors of the fleet.
these guys have provides fire support against submarines only. Okay, so I can move right next to that.
Your orders.
I guess then my first priority is to move you in here.
Is under our control.
Attack that submarine. That will also allow me to do a little bit more intelligence. Okay, that's a enemy hero. Allowing it to attack twice, doing the deep dive ability, having more ammo. Wow, this guy is a monster. It's 5 stars of experience. Okay.
Targeting the enemy.
Even this does barely any
For Japan
damage.
And for the Emperor. We found the weak spot.
Yeah. Okay, but that's the first thing that I was able to do. Secondly,
Are there new orders from our godly emperor?
1, 2, 3, 4. Like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Verifying the enemy's location.
Okay. So, I want to position this guy in such a way that he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So over here.
We bring forth imperial justice.
So it can do anti-aircraft barrage
Our
against
mighty
this.
weapons will smite them. Engage.
So using the incendiaries, shell this with the
Our huge guns are about to fire. Engage. Number 1.
with this, which already gets rid of both the anti-aircraft and this gun. Then switch to these other ones, and
Our mighty weapons will smite
since
them.
this doesn't take any damage from either of these two, it...
Engage. Number 1.
Oh wow, 1 damage to a secondary gun, huh? Well, they will repair, and at least it will allow me to negate the damage from both of these for 1 attack. Which is very good indeed.
I can't wait any longer.
You are unable to do anything. You're gonna cover the flank. Didn't discover anything. Okay, let's just wait that out for a little bit. I'm still very hesitant to use my planes because I don't think this is the only plane that they have. That would be unlikely. So how am I gonna get rid of these?
Just show us the target. Do you require assistance?
Well, just gonna move them here.
Just show us the target. Targeting the enemy. Our strength is in numbers of dead enemies. We found their weak spot. For Japan and for the Emperor.
Target acquired. They're dead.
Nice, because this isn't even the stronger one. That went very well. Yeah, let's attack
Greetings
here.
from the Imperial Navy. Targeting the enemy. They're dead.
Okay, that one's down. And
We serve faithfully.
I kind of want to be under the influence at least of that ability that
That area is under our control.
gives
Targeting the enemy.
the task force ability. Although these guys also deal more damage this way for some reason. Let's repair this and attack.
Take this, you dirty rats. Take this, you dirty rats.
Okay, that's these guys 2 times.
We serve faithfully.
Checking that sector. Target acquired. That was a perfect shot.
That it was. Okay, still have
Imperial
one destroyer
at
left.
your service. Entering the designated area. Which weapon to use? Guess this one.
We have silenced them for good.
Yeah, but the real question now becomes, what do I want to use against this? So, one
We
thing
serve
that I
faithfully.
could try and do.
I'm in position.
We serve faithfully.
But
We should be going back for refueling.
If the battleships are the muscle of the Imperial Navy,
yeah, that's
we are its brain.
not gonna
still
work, I
here.
think. Okay, let's actually get you out. Although maybe it will. First of all, let's just send out this here float plane. Secondly,
Good day,
we're gonna send out another float plane. And move that here.
The sky is like an ocean,
Next
and
up,
we are its sharks. We are the swarm.
the goal here is to destroy the Northampton class already on this
If the
turn.
battleships are the muscle of the Imperial
So,
Navy,
in order
we
to do
are
that,
its brain.
well, first of all, I'm gonna move
We will inform
these
you if the
as
enemy
much
is
forth
ahead.
as possible. I know they can no longer attack, but the
area is
reason
under
why I'm
our
sending them
control.
forward is because I need them to do the Overwatch, although I don't know whether this one has it. I don't think so. No, it does not.
Let us bathe in the wisdom of our godly emperor.
But that's why they are here, to go for Overwatch, and I don't have Overwatch on that.
We are the Sea Wolves. Silent and deadly.
We should be going back for refueling.
But let's
It's a
move you up
good
here
day for a naval battle, isn't it? Do not
and
underestimate
make sure.
us.
Verify
Yep,
the enemy's
there we
location.
are. That's the anti-aircraft gun. Boom. That was always
We
going to be
will
a
be
problem, but
victorious.
we knew that.
If the battleships are the muscle of the Imperial Navy, we are its brain.
Let's actually think about this, because this thing lost its ability to use both of these. And this one is at 3 strength. If I'm lucky...
We should be going back for refueling. 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 We should be going back for refueling.
Yeah, they're already almost out of fuel. That's pretty crazy. I'm pretty close to this place, but I kind of need to move over to that side. This is pretty tricky. I know I'm taking very long here. They have anti-aircraft there, surely too. They have 2 attacks. Maybe I should just leave it for now.
It's a good day for a naval battle.
Yeah, maybe it's better indeed to...
If the battleships are the muscle of the Imperial Navy, we are its brain. Do not underestimate us.
Maybe it's just better to do things like this and then leave it at that. Yeah. Okay, so as for...
The blood of ancient warriors flows in our veins.
If you insist.
We hunt down enemies of the Empire. We will take them by surprise.
There is no honor in hiding inside an iron box. I can't wait to enter the battle again.
Okay, so now let's move you out here. So these forces will be able to land there on the next turn already and take that hex, and then they can move towards that area.
No one
I have to say that
escape
I'm not...
our fire.
Oh, what is this? This is the destroyer, maybe? No, it's a
We
bomber.
bring death on our wings.
Yeah, these guys. So they kind of have to move in conjunction with the army here.
Our spirit is strong, our blades are sharp.
Those
Yeah.
bombs are quite dangerous.
Alright,
you
that's
know?
it. Okay, that's a first plane getting ambushed. Second plane gets ambushed. Third plane doesn't get ambushed. This one does. But, okay. Sure. Should have used Zoom and Boom, but it still works out relatively okay. Like, they're damaged, but... Okay. Really? It's like, I know that the AI is kind of like cheating in this way, but... Okay, that's 2 down. Okay, they landed.
From Prime Minister Tojo to Admiral Yamamoto, the U.S. commanders have ordered its Navy to start unrestricted submarine war. This means that from now on, all our cargo and passenger ships will be sunk on an equal basis with our warships. The enemy is ready to use the most inhumane practices to deny Japan access to the necessary resources.
Admiral Yamamoto, according to intelligence, the American commanders are bringing all their submarines to the South Seas. The hunt for our transports will begin soon.
All of
We
them.
will not let the enemy wreak havoc on our supply lines, ravaging the transportation of resources to Japan. I will order Admiral Nagumo to start searching and destroying the enemy submarines immediately.
Yeah, so we got a new objective, destroy the US submarines. There are 3 of them that landed and 3 of the army forces that have not yet. Quite a few enemy planes, nearly destroying my Zero, but it did survive. And then we also have 2 more destroyers coming our way. And we still have to deal with this as well. But not by Air Force. So these... they're... The submarine... I need to deal damage to a capital ship, and that's this unit.
I miss the fresh air.
But I can't reach it.
We bring this
So
storm.
that sucks, but...
Firestorm.
Alright, either way, let's start firing here with the anti-aircraft
We broke
cannons.
through the enemy defenses. We broke through the enemy defenses.
And
Saving
then I
bullets
can
were priority targets.
actually
We're the
move these
fastest.
this way.
They don't
Attack.
stand a chance. Done. Where's
And
our
then
next
land. And I can't reinforce them because I don't... They're not in supply supposedly like this. Alright, fine. I don't actually want to move this though.
Our
So,
vessel is the pearl of the combined
let's
fleet.
use you here.
There is no stopping us. There is no stopping us.
Kinda sad that they didn't even go after the seaplanes. Not gonna lie.
The Imperial fleet knows no defeat.
We were destined to
And
serve
this
aboard
is a 6
this
range.
magnificent vessel. We open the doors to the abyss. Gaijin's insurance shall ensure their death.
That didn't reveal anything.
Carry the deadly arrows of the Emperor.
Alright, let's try that again. I still have that left.
We should be going back for refueling. Targeting.
So what did it attack with? With this cannon, okay. But then if I were to use this... okay, yeah. Fine. They do have these 2 here. And again, I can at least negate the damage from one of them by attacking there.
The Imperial fleet
Let's just use
knows
the
no
aviation
defeat.
recon again.
Verifying the enemy's location.
Where's the other destroyer?
Verifying the
There.
enemy's location.
A battleship is like a fugu fish. Deadly, yet delicious. We will win the day.
We should be going back for refueling.
So, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I need to move here also
one
to
can stop
use my anti-aircraft
except for you.
cannons. On anything, really.
Take this, you dirty rats. Engaging in combat. Greetings from the Imperial Navy. Take this, you dirty rats. We should be going back for refueling.
Let's move in here
No one can stop
first.
me, except
Use
for
the
you.
torpedo.
Targeting the enemy.
Move in
Enemy
here.
vessels are lurking nearby.
Use the anti-aircraft.
Engaging in combat. Greetings from the Imperial Navy. We should be going back for refueling. Target acquired.
There we go. And again,
Entering the designated
move in
area
such a way that
for Japan and for the Emperor.
I can use the anti-aircraft
Target
guns.
acquired.
I'll have those targeted mostly towards the fighters.
We should be going back for refueling. We should be going back for refueling.
They have a movement of 8, so
We should be going back
I
for
think you can already
refueling.
move in that
We
way.
should be going back for refueling.
This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Checking that sector. Targeting the enemy. We found their weak spot. They are trying to get away.
They are, but
Searching for the
I'm
enemy.
not too worried about it.
We found their weak spot. They're dead.
And destroy that enemy ship. Now, most of the destroyers are
We should
nearly
be
out of
going
fuel,
back for
so I don't
refueling.
expect them to be able to do too much
The
yet.
warriors of the sky are at your
But we'll
command.
see.
We should be going back for refueling.
We will be
I
victorious.
really had hoped I might still have some anti-aircraft
We surpass
left.
pathetic
Yeah, you do.
margins in
By quite a bit.
everything.
Okay. Very good.
Behind us is the rising sun. Ahead is eternal glory. We have righteously
So-
spilled the blood of the enemy. The enemy has suffered some losses. Go on. We'll have to finish it.
I know they still have 2 of these destroyers, but the goal here is to take out those destroyers with some of the planes, while
The warriors of the sky.
directly dealing
at
with
your
these by
command.
anti-aircraft. Now, I
Are there any targets?
think it's best just to go after this and leave those 2 badly wounded. I think if they try to go... Wow, really? I think if they try to go anywhere, then they'll probably get defeated. Their anti-aircraft gun is gone, which
We
allows me...
surpass pathetic gaijins in everything.
There better be targets. Bow to the gifts of the Empire. Just a few moments, and we'll be there.
We carry the deadly arrows of the Emperor.
Be careful with the bombs.
Right, so I'm gonna use these bombs, move them in
There
here,
better be targets.
go in here. Only 2 damage, huh?
You can't hide
But
from the blast waves.
if my units don't take any damage either...
Will there be fighters covering us?
We will not let the Emperor down.
that helps some at least.
Will there be fighters covering us? Let's lose some weight. Approaching.
And
We are the heart of the
I'll
Imperial
be able to
Navy,
finish this one
no
off
matter
by
what the
using
battleships
torpedoes.
say.
Carrying bombs to enemy lines. Pin them to the
Yep,
ground.
there we go.
We are the Sea Wolves.
So now, if I attack, I will deal 0 damage. Okay, so My biggest concern for this guy as well is that he's gonna run out of fuel and then he's gonna get destroyed. So I can't do too much. And I'm just gonna move in here and leave him there because getting out of fuel would be very
We should be going back for refueling.
inconvenient. And because this thing... Oh, at least it's somewhat damaged. I'm gonna keep some of the destroyers just where they are.
Back for refueling.
But this unit, for example, I'm quite sure that it's beneficial to start moving it over to this side. So I can start attacking there on the next turn, I can start landing some troops. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the enemy forces are all but defeated in this area. So I'm gonna start moving down here as well. So I can start landing there because I don't want the enemy to take that stuff. And then in here... These guys are moving down there so that they can potentially also move down there, but I will have to see. That's not something that I should have done. They're back to 4 though. Okay, but they already fired, so there's no use in doing anything. Alright. Let's get the carrier to also move over. Nope. Wow. That was really messed up. Okay, let's move you in here. Luckily, it didn't cost me.
Are we fully loaded?
We should be going back for refueling.
Yeah. But you have very little fuel, so I'm gonna keep these guys where they are. And you as well. Alright, let's end the turn. Okay.
That was a perfect shot.
Okay, they got overwatched really good. They, of course, know exactly where my submarine is, probably. Or not, okay. Okay, not too bad. Okay, they survived. Not bad.
Sector clear.
We have silenced them for good.
Okay, they're gonna land. Okay. Not bad. Alright, what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna end the video here. I want to thank you for watching. Do hope you enjoyed this first episode. If you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Take care, see you then, bye bye.